Um, don't know what that was. You tell me. Hi, I am Leah, and it's good to see you. And it's my spooky reading month video. I'm late, I know. Lots of shit happening in real life. Yeah. So that's my excuse. Anyway, so I'm here to talk about my October books in my, I guess, kind of goth witch vibe sort of I was going for Halloween, or yeah, all of October rather. So I have 5 books here with me. Yeah, let's get right into it. No more needs to delay. Starting with, wait, I have them the wrong way around. Starting with not actually a scary read. Yeah, that came over from September. I started this in September. But anyway, Memories Legion by James S. Corey, the 2 authors of The Expanse. Oh, I need to be careful so I don't cast the shadow on myself. Or it doesn't really matter. So this book is basically the book you can buy for their short story or novellas, no, rather short stories from the Expanse universe. So this is not with the main characters. There are some of them a little bit there, and yeah. So this one, well, because it's a collection of short stories, it's as always difficult to give it like an overall summary and rating. So I guess I'll just say, so I talked about it before because I had already talked about the short story with Bobby, or that's how it was sold, and it turns out Bobby was in it for like a few scenes, and it wasn't about her at all. And that really pissed me off because it was sold like, oh, figure out what Bobby's doing between Expanse, what was it, 3 and 4 or 4 and 5 or whatever it was, or between 2 and 3. I don't remember. Which you didn't, except, well, she's in Mars at home and doesn't know what to do. Yay. Anyway, so that one is obviously also here. But so, which one was my favorite? Maybe, was it? No, I don't think it was Drive. So Drive, so I'm just gonna maybe say, that's just the titles of the short stories. Drive is about the Epstein drive, which is what they're using in the Expanse universe for like fast travel. And this is about the guy who invented it. So we're like years and years and years back, maybe in centuries. I don't know that much. Then Butcher of Anderson Station. That's probably my favorite. I think. Yeah, I think so. That's also one of the long ones. But my God, why is it a short story? It's actually so good. I want the full novel of this one, or even novella. I take anything. Like at some point, it even felt like oh, this is difficult because I don't want to spoil it. But shall we say, because it's told in a going forth and back, like you're in now time, and he reminiscence about what had happened at Anderson Station. So we keep going forth and back, but at some point it's like, it's basically stated that, and then this happened, like literally in just a sentence or two. And this could become a novel. just write it out, and just chronology, or even if you want to do the forward back, I don't mind, but like tell us the whole details and not just, and that's when you stormed the station or whatever. That wasn't it. I'm not spoiling it, but anyway, I think that was my favorite. It was so good. It was cool to read about him again. I liked him in The Expanse. Like, I think I was even one of those that actually trusted him. I was sometimes annoyed at Holden for not trusting him and things like that. So yeah, that was really cool. Gods of Risk. Was that the Bobby one? No, I'm not even sure anymore. I think so. The Churn. Yes, that one. That is well, I can't really say what that, well, I can say it's like on Earth, well, criminal organizations, and you follow a certain a couple of people, how they are like organizing, and then the churn is when like basically the police or whatever force is going in and trying to shut them down. there's suddenly super loud music outside my apartment. I don't think that will be picked up, but now you know. Then we have The Vital Abyss, Strange Dogs. Strange Dogs was also really cool. This is on Laconia. If you don't know, I better not say read The Expanse, but it's a, let's just say it's a certain alien planet where we follow a kid who's like discovering that these strange sort of mechanical / fleshy dogs, like we don't get a full description of them, they revive a bird, like it dies, and then like the next day she's back after they had like taken it away, the corpse, and then stuff happens. That was also pretty cool. That's probably my second favorite after that. Yeah, the others now honestly didn't really stick with me, so I don't really want to maybe spend too much time. All in all, I think it was still like interesting and cool to read some more stories, even not necessarily directly connected, or sometimes, like I said, connected with our main troupe, like Anderson, like very little Bobby, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so I don't think I rated it, and if so, it in all honesty would be around 3.5, because it had quite a few dots in there. But the good ones, like Butcher of Anderson Station, for me would be actually a 5 star. So we're like, yeah. Anyway, let's do our first actual spoopy book. We have Shirley Jackson, Dark Tales. So this is again a collection of short stories by Shirley Jackson that I read. I really just, I don't know, I enjoy Shirley Jackson. I think this is my 4th that I read, plus the lottery. So if you count the lottery as its own, then it's like my 5th even. And yeah, so all kinds of weird, strange things. Not maybe super scary, but like a lot, I guess, uncomfortable. Like things like that are scary, not as in I'm afraid, but as in like scary just to imagine something like that happening, and things like that. Such as like this woman is convinced that when her husband comes home, I think from a work travel, that it's not actually her husband, and in her head, like she's basically convincing herself that she's now living with a stranger, and that the stranger knows that she knows, but they're not saying anything, and like it's just really kind of weird. But like that's a little bit Shirley Jackson's kind of thing. She has like these weird sort of stories, and yeah. So again, here, very difficult to, because some were super short, like 3 pages long, and then some were a little bit longer. But yeah, so basically weird, awkward, like more head scary than like I'm afraid scary tales. But I enjoyed them. I really did. There were some really good ones in there. Again, also I can't really think of one. I just remember that when I read it, I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of nothing for me. I think there was like a 2-pager one that just didn't really hit. But anyway, I think this was cool. I think I gave it 4 stars, so I can absolutely recommend this one. And then, very hype, I read Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, again, I am blocking myself. And look at this beautiful book. Look at, now you can see it even better, with the light shining on the golden pages. You see that? Beautiful. So, Classic Tales of Horror was this one. So again, a collection of stories. I didn't plan this. In that, I just was like, oh yeah, I want Shirley Jackson. Oh, Dark Tales, that sounds good. Oh yeah, I want to read Edgar Allan Poe this October. And then, oh yeah, Classic Tales of Horror, sure, let's go for that. And then before that, I had started my research, and it just happened to turn out like this. So here, what shall we say? So in the beginning, I had a little bit troubles getting into it, to be perfectly honest. The language was a bit difficult, but for me, Edgar Allan Poe, he like, sometimes I have 0 problems reading and understanding him, and sometimes I'm like reading a whole paragraph and like, I understood every sentence and every word, but I have no idea what I just read. So it's kind of very interesting how that can go for me. So it's really up and down, and that of course can make it sometimes difficult to truly enjoy the reading. But basically, we have like real classics in here: Fall of the House of Usher, Pit and the Pendulum. What else is very known? I didn't know Nigeria, but I really liked that one. King Pest was also very interesting. Moreau. There was a lot about love and unrequited love and basically trying to force things, which was very uncomfortable but like very scary for me. Premature Burial, The Black Cat. So if you've seen the Netflix show The Fall of the House of Usher, which is not really The Fall of the House of Usher per se, because that's again a short story, so it's not like a whole series, but a lot of the things that I just said, Black Cat and so on, they are basically an episode in that Netflix TV series. So it's like very cool. They like made like the episodes be one of the short stories, but then tied it back into being the Usher family, which is very, very interesting. And also the names are taken from these short stories, because in the real Fall of the House of Usher, we only have Roderick Usher and his sister. Oh, what's her name? Madeline, I think Madeline, right? As basically the main people. Oh, also we have the short story of what's that one called? I don't remember the name now of that one. When they I can't say it because that's the end of it. Of this, never mind then. But that's also one of the episodes. And I think the episode names are the titles of the short stories. So it's actually really cool to read that one and then watch the show, or vice versa, because you will recognize it. But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed it. Like I said, a little difficulty reading from time to time. I think there were maybe 2 dots in there, so not the majority. The majority was good, but there were like 2 dots from like, no, didn't work, just uncomfortable, just did not need to read that. But most of it was really good, so also 4 stars for this one, for me. Alright, that was book number 3. Number 4, we have Juan. I was gonna say again a short story, I don't know why I was gonna say that, because both the next 2 are not short stories. Pedro, Páramo is the title of the book, by Juan Rulfo. I hope so. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm not sure if that's visible. That looks better from what I can see from here. Anywho, so I read this one because it got recommended last year when I watched one of the booktubers what they read for October. And this one sounds intriguing. So this is so Pedro Páramo is basically the father of the protagonist that you follow, and then basically they were like raised by their mother, and at the very beginning the mom dies, and so he goes in search for his father, and also like to understand why did the father never support them, and the mom had to do everything herself. And now this is also told very strangely, without chapters whatsoever. We just have sometimes like a star or a thingy, a separator, and it switches in times and dream sequences without warning. So you need to pick up on it on yourself, that also suddenly you're a different POV, you're somewhere else, and that's how you then like learn about this Pedro Páramo and what he's done. And there's like implied there's spirits everywhere and things are cursed and things like that, so it is kind of scary. All in all, I found it slightly too confusing for my taste, and the payoff that I kind of hoped would sort of make me love this one didn't really happen so much. So yeah, so it wasn't my favorite, but it was an interesting read, that's for sure. Very, very different, and the language was not so difficult, but just the unwarned switches of POV, time, dream sequence, reality, and all that jazz. So yeah, but interesting. So basically we don't know if he was talking to ghosts or if he was talking to actual living people, so it's scary. That was Pedro Páramo by Juan Rulfo. And number 5, last but not least, I read a classic, H.G. Wells, The Island. This one was interesting. I'm searching for words. So we start the beginning of the book, and I will say why I have a gripe with that in a moment, with someone being picked up from the sea from a boat that apparently had gone missing like 10 years prior or something like that, like a couple of years, anyway, not like ridiculous amount, but still more than someone could just survive in a mini skiff or rafter or whatever it was he was picked out of at sea alone. And they only found him and not the ship itself. And then we basically go back, or then he's basically telling us that story, and then we go back. Now, I have a gripe with that type of storytelling because the stakes aren't there. Especially in a horror story where I assume that the protagonist or also close by people can die. Here it can't happen because he's telling the story, so we know whatever horror he's facing, whatever like completely how is this possible situation, well, it is. I mean, yes, then you can argue the figuring out the mystery of, oh my god, how did he get out of this? Yeah, that is kind of there, but that mystery would even be there together with, or does he get out? Or will he die there? Which I personally prefer, so that wasn't my favorite thing, so in that sense, so it lost some gripe for me. It was very interesting because I don't know if I should say that. Is that a spoiler? I feel like it is a spoiler. So there is something happening on this island where he ends up being. I'm not even gonna say how he gets there. You can read that. But obviously it's called the island, so he ends up on an island at some point. And there is some weird shit happening on the. Did I say the island? It's called the Island of Dr. Moreau. Why did I only say the half title? Isn't that a movie? The Island? I think so, right? With androids and stuff. Okay, sorry about that. The Island of Dr. Moreau, because it's important, because yeah, Dr. Moreau is obviously a character in the story. So there's weird shit happening on this island. Again, I don't want to say what it is. Or do I? I'm a little bit. So what I do want to say is that I hadn't figured it out myself, so that's kind of cool. I want to say that when like he started describing things that he saw, and we're like, and I was like, what could that be? And I was wrong, which is kind of cool. I like being wrong. And then the truth, which I'm not gonna say what it was, but the truth was extremely horrific in my opinion. So it was definitely again more like holy shit scary, like oh my god, could this really happen, could this really be true, kind of oh my god horrific. That was extremely horrific, like just imagining that. Other than that, again, because I knew he made it, I wasn't really scared for him, so yeah. But all in all, interesting read, especially for a classic. Very what do you want to say, very inventive. Like that's what I also really enjoyed, even though it was very I can't say it anything else. It's so weird to say that with black lips. I feel like I smile too much. I don't know why. I feel like when you have red lips or black lips or any lips that, yeah, no, it's mostly like the full-on red, you know, and like now like black. Like smiling doesn't it doesn't work. Okay. I cannot not smile. Anyway, that was the Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells, and those were my I thought I had damaged the corner of one of my books, but I didn't. Just felt like it's under my finger. All right, so these were my 5 spooky month readings. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you had a nice spooky month reading yourself. And if you want, you can tell me what you read down below in the comments. And otherwise, hey, please take care of yourself and see you next month. Bye bye.